Okay, real question for the men. Why do guys always say that they prefer a natural woman? And then you go to these comment sections of these Instagram models, which no hate, by the way, that's you do you, girl. But the men in those comment sections are always just melting and throwing themselves at these women with giant, immobile breast implants and fillers all over their face and fillers in their lips and cosmetic surgeries all over their face and liposuction, and the natural girlies are just sitting over here completely confused. Guys will, tell us, just be natural, just be yourself.
I know a titty when I
and
see
then
one.
those girls have 50,000 likes on their videos, and everybody just keeps telling us to be natural and be like, what do guys actually like? What do they actually like?
It's a good question.
I'll tell you exactly what it is. They want to jack off and be sexually with the non-natural girls because visually they're more attractive to them, but they want the chick that they wife up, the Madonna whore complex. They want the Madonna to be their wife.
Yeah.
They want them to be kind of undesirable, and they don't objectify them at all. So you gotta find a guy who wants you to be his little porn star, who wants you to look hot, and doesn't want you to basically be unattractive to other men.
And that's what I was gonna say as well. I mean, obviously, Doc, you're the expert in dealing with relationships, but I was gonna ask her, who is saying that we only want natural? I mean, I think that might have been like the traditional.
Guys dog, they're like, oh, she's ugly, she's
But
not.
that's what I was about to say. It shouldn't be up to us anyway, because, and from what I mean, the women in here can speak for themselves. It's when it comes specifically to like cosmetic surgery and all that, they're not doing it for us. They doing it for other women, or they're doing it for themselves. They're not saying like, ooh, I think I'm gonna get so many guys if I get this done. It's like, women look fly for women, and then it barrels down to like a self-confidence thing. Like, if a woman has been picked on all her life because she's flat-chested, when she get old enough to go get her some boobs, she gonna go get her some boobs.
Well, and there's also something in the brain where the more different you are, right, these hyper feminine features versus these hyper masculine features. Traditionally, if you are hyper feminine, that means you have high levels of estrogen. So from an evolutionary point of view, there's a reason that, of course, what's a feminine face? Like, looking at your face, right, it's heart-shaped. The more testosterone you have, it sort of goes wider in the chin. The nose is smaller in women. The angle of the nose is smaller.
My brain is a man's brain.
But you have a very feminine face. And so a lot of women on social media are hyper-feminizing their face. Now, there are some men who really like that. If you look at some of these...
There's a lot of men that like that. Go look at their OnlyFans.
For sure, for sure. But I think there are also, different strokes for different folks. I think there are a lot of men who don't like that super plastic
they're
look.
afraid. I think it's an intimidation thing, too. I mean, some guys do like natural. I'm not saying that. But, I mean... So, like, remember the Gilligan's Island or whatever, that old show? There's, like, the Marianne and
the Ginger.
See,
I was a Marianne type guy.
I was a Ginger guy. I was like, Ginger looks cool.
Actually, I like the old lady on there, Miss Howe. She was fine.
Like,
Miss Howe had it going on.
She was a MILF.
With the diamonds and everything. If there was one on there I was going to knock down, it's going to be the old lady.
Yeah, I would have cracked Ginger for sure. But Marianne to me was kind of plain and boring, but apparently that was the guy favorite because she seemed sweet and like the girl next door and approachable.
Yeah.
And I get it, it's you want that, but like also titties,
It's
At the end of the day,
titties
is the
and
answer.
ass is really what.
As a gay man, I can just... May I speak freely?
You don't like titties.
I don't like titties at all, but when I look at you, I mean, I think to myself, wow, what a beautiful woman. But the other thing about you is you seem really authentic, just in terms of like all the tats and the way you dress, which sort of matches your personality. And you don't look plastic to me, and you're obviously very beautiful. You've been on the cover of Playboy a few times.
Yeah, Playboy Sweden, Playboy South Africa, Playboy. I've been like in a bunch of different, like the offshoot ones.
Nice.
But well, yeah, I mean, I dissolved my filler. I used to have, I went through the phase that everyone went through where I thought filler was attractive.
Right.
So I went in and dissolved everything. I've never had a nose job, even though people think I have.
What is it? And then, forgive
But my
me.
titties are fake as hell.
Yeah.
Ass is real. It's really the titties.
So just the breasts.
The titties and a little lip filler.
Can I talk, as a guy, I just got a question. Who, like, when it came to like filler or even lip filler, like, who's saying that's the aesthetic of beauty that, like, what is that?
Hypersexualized.
It is the hyper-feminine, right?
Yeah.
So women tend to have these pillowy cheeks when they're young. It's a very heart-shaped face, right? So high estrogen women will have this like you have naturally. These high cheekbones that are almost pillowy. High testosterone men almost have an angular, like that gaunt look, right? Where the men's cheekbones stick out and then there's sort of like a divot. It almost goes
like
down.
The chisel.
So if you look at young women, one of the first things that happens in women as they age is they sort of lose that and their faces sort of drop, and you kind of see women in their 40s and 50s will sort of get like a wider jaw, right? They lose the heart shape.
Got it.
Rectangular because things fall. That's when you
Exactly.
go in with the fat transfer and the surgery. I'm in. I want everything. I'm gonna look like I went through a wind tunnel. I don't want to be. I want to be like moving 50 miles an hour while sitting still. Do not let me.
But that, like, to me, I just never heard a man be like, man, look at the filler in that girl face.
No, but
It's amazing.
But I guarantee you, he's looking at the big old lips, thinking, "I'd like to."
Not really, though.
Like the 7 C's.
Again, the bottom thing is like good work is good work, so I can appreciate when it's done well. But if it looks like
If it looks, yeah, I get
You
it.
want it
you
to
like
be
you
real.
got 2 sausages as lips.
Look,
You
I
want it
had
to be
the
real.
sausage thing at one time, and I hate it. I look back and I'm like, what was I thinking?
That's why I was like,
I'm
Do you
so
feel
glad.
better? Do you feel better, more natural with less?
I look better. I looked 10 years older with all that filler, and I'm like, why
Right.
was I doing that?
The other thing that happens is there's this phenomenon called perception drift, where you look at your face every day in the mirror. So when you look at filler, you think, wow, I look so much better. So the delta between how you looked and a little bit of filler, you're like, I look so good. And then you also get so used to your face.
It's also
Right.
dopamine.
So then you, and
You
it
get a
releases
hit
dopamine.
every time you
So
change.
then you sort of lose perspective of what's real, natural looking. So then people just go a little bit too far. It sounds like you did. But then, yeah, in the animal kingdom, we want faces to be natural, right? So
Right.
some animals will not like a mate if something is super asymmetrical, or if there's an eye for, there's even studies where they sort of introduce, not a real animal, but if they can identify,
they
like,
can tell
that's
that
not
it's not real.
they're not gonna, they may even
They're not gonna
assault
try
you,
to, yeah.
right? They're not gonna wanna
Are
mate with
big
that.
red lips supposed to kind of, it reminds men of the vagina,
does.
an engorged vagina?
It does. And when you look at some of the,
Okay, I
the
see where
blood
you're going.
that flows, right, to the face, to the genitals, that is a signal that I am attracted to
Well, I
you.
had a vagina on my face for sure, dude. That thing like, someone needed to tell me. I have no friends. Actually, I had 3 people tell me. Like, my friends were like, dude,
Well,
it's
that's
too
the thing.
much.
Like, even when, because first of all, as a guy, it's a little difficult to tell a woman what to do with their body and their face, and it, like, so I've had friends and even partners. I'm like, do we gotta do the lips again, or do we do it's you don't really, because you don't want to offend them.
Yeah.
But then also, and I think this almost leads to what the young lady was saying as well. There was this thing that was going on. It just seemed like everybody started to look the same.
Yeah.
And everybody like this aesthetic. And then after that, I feel like it
Everyone's
started
dissolving.
Yeah, but I feel, which I love, but I feel like I'll call it the Kardashian effect, because it really feels like during the height, specifically whether it was Kim and then even her younger sister Kylie, when they would see them, whatever they were doing on TV, people would try to implement it, and then you looked up 5-10 years later and everybody has dark hair, fake lips, big boobs, big butt, and it's filler, and it's like, all right, I like someone who looks unique. Like, if you look like yourself, I think that's more attractive probably to what you were
Some of the
saying.
most beautiful faces, when you look at Kate Moss, you look at her teeth, right? There's usually something that's a little bit different.
Right.
And we make something so vanilla and everybody looks exactly like everybody else.
Cindy
there's nothing
Crawford's
that's-
mole.
That's right.
Tyra
That's
Banks'
right.
big forehead.
That's right.
I got a big one too, but I also have the crooked little, like, I call it my little chipmunk tooth. And I was like, if I ever got like caps or anything, I would keep the little crooked tooth because I think it's cute,
Right.
And I love when people have jumbled teeth.
And there's confidence in that too. So either one way or the other, because there's confidence in if you get some work done and you feel better about yourself, and there's confidence in like, look, I am what I am, flaws and all.
For sure.
So
No, a little Middle Eastern man in a shitty motel is the reason I got my tits done. And he
Please,
just
yeah.
I was a dancer and we did like shows and bachelor parties, and he said, darling, you're so perfect. You would be perfect if your tits were bigger. And I was like, I was like, well, you heard him, fellas.
did he pay for it?
No. No, but it wouldn't leave my head. Like, it was literally like, And I was at the time having troubles with the partner I was with. So then I was like, what if that's why I'm not doing well? So it was like a whole insecurity. I totally got my tits done because I was insecure. I'm not even gonna like lie about that.
Is that usually where it starts from? It's like whatever you had an insecurity in.
Because I didn't
you
even
wanna fix.
want them.
For sure.
My whole life I never wanted them. And it was just...
Because you're statuesque, you're tall,
I didn't
you're
really
like...
need it, you know? I just had normal boobs, and I've
Right.
always had a big butt. I've always had a big butt. So it was just one of those looks, but now I love it. I went up another time.
Well, you look amazing.
Thank you.
Viking Barbie in the building.
Agreed.
Yes, of course. Clap it up for a big butt. That's what